It was the first day of the semester, and whispers filled the classroom like buzzing bees. The new teacher walked in, young, elegant, yet carrying herself with quiet strength. Her name was Miss Elena Carter, and she had just moved to town after serving in the military as a martial arts instructor. What she didn't expect was the cruel welcome waiting for her. A group of notorious bullies, led by a cocky student named Derek, decided to test her. They whispered insults, tossed paper balls, and laughed openly. Elena tried to maintain her composure, but the laughter grew louder. Then, in a shocking move, Derek yanked her shirt from behind, ripping it in front of the whole class. Gasps filled the air, and silence followed. Elena's face burned with humiliation, but instead of crying or running out, she stood tall, her eyes sharp and unshaken. The students expected anger or tears, but what they saw instead was the calm, cold gaze of someone who had seen worse. Elena whispered, "Enough." The bullies laughed again, until Elena's next move turned the classroom upside down. Chapter 2, the judo lesson. Before Derek could smirk again, Elena stepped forward, calm as ever. With one swift motion, she grabbed his wrist, twisted, and in the blink of an eye, bam, he was on the floor. The class erupted in shock. His friends charged in, but Elena's judo training took over. She flipped one over her shoulder, swept another's legs, and in seconds the bullies who ruled the classroom lay groaning on the ground. The silence that followed was deafening. Students stared, wide-eyed, not just at her skill but at her control. Elena adjusted her ripped shirt, looked at the class, and said firmly, "This isn't about fighting. It's about respect. If you can't respect me as your teacher, then you'll at least learn to respect each other." The bullies, embarrassed and defeated, mumbled apologies. For the first time, the class clapped, not for the fight, but for the courage she showed. Elena had turned humiliation into power, and from that day forward no one dared to mock her again. Instead, she became the most admired teacher in school. The one who stood up, not just for herself, but for everyone who had ever been bullied. The clock ticked slowly inside room 207. It was the first day of the semester, and the atmosphere buzzed with teenage chatter. Backpacks slammed on desks, shoes squeaked across the floor, and laughter echoed like a wildfire spreading through dry grass. Then, the door creaked open. A hush fell for a moment as Miss Elena Carter walked in. The new teacher. She was in her late 20s, dressed simply in a crisp white shirt and navy blue skirt. Her posture was straight, her steps steady, yet there was a gentle nervousness in her eyes. This was her first day in this school, her chance to start fresh after moving to this small town. But the students didn't see her dedication. What they saw was someone new, someone vulnerable. From the back row, a tall, broad-shouldered boy leaned back in his chair smirking. His name was Derek Morgan, the self-proclaimed king of the class. Around him sat his gang of followers, the notorious troublemakers of the school. Derek's eyes narrowed as he whispered loudly enough for everyone to hear, "Look at her, think she's tough. Let's see how long she lasts." His friends snickered. Elena placed her books on the desk and smiled warmly. "Good morning, everyone. I'm Miss Carter, and I'll be your new history teacher this semester. I'm really looking forward to..." A paper ball whizzed past her shoulder and hit the board with a soft thud. The class erupted in muffled laughter. Elena paused but didn't flinch. She turned back with calm eyes and continued, "As I was saying, history isn't just about the past. It's about..." Another paper ball. This time it struck her hand. The laughter grew louder. She inhaled slowly, refusing to show irritation. "Control yourself, Elena," she thought. "They're just kids testing you." But Derek wasn't satisfied with little games. He wanted a show. He stood up, his tall frame towering over the other students, and swaggered toward her desk. The room grew silent in anticipation. Everyone knew something was about to happen. Elena's hand gripped the chalk softly, her eyes watching his every move. Derek leaned closer, smirking. "So, Miss Carter, you think you can handle us? You think you can teach here?" Without waiting for her reply, he reached out, and in one cruel, swift tug, he ripped the back of her shirt. The sound of tearing fabric echoed like thunder in the silent classroom. Gasps erupted. A few students laughed nervously, others covered their mouths in shock. Elena froze, her body stiff, her heart pounding. For a split second, she felt the sting of humiliation wash over her like icy water. Derek grinned victoriously, his friends slapping the desks in laughter. "Oops," he mocked, holding the torn piece of fabric in his hand. Every eye in the room locked onto her. Would she cry? Would she scream? Would she run out of the classroom like others had before? But Elena did none of those things. She slowly straightened her shoulders, her breathing steady. The torn shirt revealed vulnerability, but her expression revealed something else, unyielding strength. Her gaze lifted, cold and sharp, cutting through the laughter. She spoke in a voice steady as steel, low but commanding, "Enough." The laughter died instantly. The word carried weight, heavier than anger, heavier than fear. Derek blinked, caught off guard. For a moment, silence filled the room. Elena's mind raced, memories flashing, her days in the military, the harsh training, the discipline of martial arts. She had faced greater challenges than a teenager trying to humiliate her. She knew exactly what to do. The classroom, still frozen, felt like the moment before a storm. And deep in her chest, Elena Carter made a quiet decision: this ends here. Right now.